This is 7 National News. In our top story, President His Highness Sheikh Khalifa bin Zayed Al Nahyan has called for continuing the efforts of developing a legislative environment that will ensure the conservation of natural resources and regulate the consumption of water and energy. In a speech on the occasion of the 19th edition of National Environment Day, which is marked on February 4th, President His Highness Sheikh Khalifa also called for launching educational programs to raise awareness on the importance of the sustainability of natural resources and the use of clean renewable energy for the country's development. His Highness was quoted in Emirates news agency WAM stating that the UAE has established 21 onshore and offshore natural reserves, which make up 7% of the UAE land mass, in an effort to preserve wildlife and marine species, reduce pollution, have clean air and a healthy, sustainable environment for future generations to enjoy. His Highness, the President, also stressed that the environmental effort is a collaborative responsibility which requires the participation of everyone who lives in a civilized society, adding that each individual is an ambassador for the environment and should be dedicated in ensuring its cleanliness, its sustainability and work on reducing emissions of polluting gases. The UAE Ministry of Health has advised residents travelling abroad to stay away from areas infested with mosquitoes that transmit the Zika virus. In a statement, Dr. Hussein Abdul Rahman, the ministry's Assistant Under-Secretary for Clinics, warned that all travellers abroad should take extra care and keep away from mosquito-infested areas to avoid being affected with Zika virus. He noted that Zika is transmitted through mosquitoes which are not found in the UAE, adding that there has been no Zika case in the country. Residents travelling to infested areas should take protective measures to avoid infection. These include the use of creams that repel mosquitoes, light colour clothes that cover most of the body, and mosquito nets in beds. This comes after the World Health Organization on Monday said a surge in serious birth defects in South America was strongly suspected of being caused by the Zika virus and constituted an international health emergency. Members of the Federal National Council on Tuesday pressed for an increase in the federal healthcare budget, with special emphasis on providing equal medical services and health insurance coverage for citizens across the country. Members of the House also voiced concern over the high prevalence of diabetes and obesity, as well as cancer among Emiratis, as they debated health policies in the presence of the Minister of Health, Dr. Abdul Rahman Al Owais, who pledged to work closely with local health authorities to improve the situation for Emiratis. According to the World Health Organization, at least 2.8 million people die every year from being overweight or obese, with the worldwide prevalence of obesity more than doubling between 1980 and 2014. In the UAE, nearly 47.5% of residents were overweight, with a BMI between 25 and 30, while another 13% were obese, with a BMI over 30. Since the average BMI in the UAE is 25.6, the average UAE resident is considered overweight, according to the most recent surveys. In other news, Sharjah is all set to host some competitive sporting action as the third edition of the Arab Women's Sports Tournament officially begins. Her Highness Sheikha Jawahir bint Muhammad Al Qasimi, wife of His Highness the ruler of Sharjah and chairperson of the Supreme Council for Family Affairs, attended the opening ceremony of the tournament, where a total of 58 clubs from 18 Arab countries are taking part in a total of 8 different competitions. Running until the 12th of February, the teams will take part in sporting action hosted across the Emirate in volleyball, basketball, table tennis, archery, fencing, athletics and shooting. A total of 4 clubs will be flying the UAE flag in the event, which include Banias Club, Al Wasl Sports Club, Emirates Equestrian Centre and Sharjah Ladies Centre. Speaking during the opening ceremony, His Excellency Sheikh Khalid bin Ahmad bin Sultan Al Qasimi, head of Arab Women's Sports Tournament's Supreme Organising Committee, stated that the competition under the slogan "Your World, Your Court, Together Victorious" aims to develop sportsmanship and compassion among female athletes of the region. Following the opening ceremony, dignitaries also witnessed the final round of the equestrian competition and presented the awards to the winner, Nadia Taryam from Sharjah Ladies Club. While expressing support for the tournament, former Olympian and two-time Mediterranean Games gold medalist Rania Alwani added that sports can play a vital role in the social and personal development of female athletes.
Sport prepares you for the rest of your life, and I think this is what we need in our societies, is to get women stronger and more capable of doing what they need to be doing in society. So I'm very happy to be here. I'm very happy of the progress that was made in the last 3 editions, and I'm very hopeful that the next edition will even include more women participating in different sports. Players' mindset is not different than any other competition. They're focused on achieving their goals, but the most important is not the competition that you see here today. It's the everyday preparation that they go through. It makes them more dedicated people. It makes them people who can plan, organize, and reach their highest potential. So, and that's the real value of sport.
And Dubai is once again playing host to some of the world's best cyclists as the Dubai Tour returns to the Emirate for its 3rd edition. A total of 124 riders representing 16 different teams took off from the starting line at the International Marine Club this morning to officially begin the much-awaited contest. As the race has finally begun, authorities are urging the public to check the cycling routes to avoid the road closures that will be taking place during the race. Cycling fans can catch some of the best riders in the world pedalling past the iconic landmarks around the city as they take on 4 major stages of the competition, totaling 671 kilometres. This year is also the first time that the race moves onto another emirate, with the 179-kilometre Stage 1 concluding in Fujairah. It's all about the timing, as the overall winner has to be the fastest and most consistent rider of all stages to take away the blue jersey and the Circle of Stars trophy. This year's event features a strong lineup of contestants, including former Tour de France champion Bradley Wiggins, as well as last year's winner Mark Cavendish, racing for Team Dimension Data, along with his rival Marcel Kittel, who is representing E-Tech's Quick Step. With 3 out of 4 stages for the sprinters, there is no doubt that the fast riders from other teams will put in all efforts for the sprint showdowns expected.
For me, my first tour of Dubai, and 2 years before I stayed training in Dubai. No, it's for me it's a good place, good weather, good persons. On the cycle, it's step by step is very high, you know. And for me and for my team, it's a really important race. But the first edition we won with Taylor Finney, and now we have one favorite for the final race with Philippe Gilbert, and we hope stay in front in a state of Haddadam.
I'm looking really forward. I saw a big progression here with the race, and I'm just happy to be here, and also it's nice to see a lot of people, and no, it's crowdy. I mean, no, I just want to join the race. At the moment, I'm doing these races here, and preparing for the classics, and then I go to the Giro, and then from there on we make the second step to the second part of the season, because so far I don't want to think what everything could come, because everything has to be step on step.
My goals are actually quite modest. I'm playing more of a helping role for some of my teammates. We've got 3 very good sprinters, Daniele Benatti, Eric Basca and Michael Kola. The later 2 are very young and need a lot of experience, and it's a very high class field. I think all the world's best sprinters are here, so it'll be a good race, I'm sure. The wind could come into factor a little bit. Let's see what the conditions are like. And particularly, I think it's stage 3 at the uphill finish, that's tough, so I'm sure that will make the difference.
My teammates helped me to put me in the front in a good position for the last K, for take a good whiz in the final. I know that there are a lot of teams with good sprinters, and I want to catch a good position for the final, for make my sprint, and I want to do a really good sprint for me and for my team.
Motorists in Abu Dhabi will be able to pump their own petrol from the start of next month and pay for it with a swipe of their Emirates ID cards. 4 self-service smart petrol stations with a new cashless payment system will be opened as part of a 7-month trial by Abu Dhabi National Oil Company from March the 1st. Customers will be able to pay for their fuel using their Emirates ID card, ADNOC Plus card or a smart tag, which is a chip installed at the car's fuel inlet. All three payment methods are linked to an ADNOC wallet account that can be topped up online. Customers can sign up for an account on the company's website or at smart card centres around the city. The stations in the trial are Rabdan service station in Al Mushrif, Al Nasser service station on Sheikh Zayed I Street, Al Zafarana service station near Khalifa University and Al Qana service station in Al Khalij Al Arabiya Street. Self-service stations are not uncommon in Dubai, especially at night. In 2013, ENOC launched midnight to 6 a.m. self-service at 10 stations around the Emirate. Finally, in the bulletin this evening, the 2016 Qasr Al Hosn Festival began yesterday and is a celebration of both the fort's status as a historic monument and cultural hub, while also honouring the UAE's founders and their visionary leadership. Organised by the Abu Dhabi Tourism and Culture Authority, the festival, which runs until the 13th of February, illustrates the enduring legacy of Emirati heritage and identity. It also is a showcase of the ongoing conservation of Qasr Al Hosn, restoring it to the cultural heart of the capital. Standing as the symbolic birthplace of Abu Dhabi and home to the ruling Al Nahyan family, Al Hosn is currently undergoing an ongoing conservation program which aims to preserve and restore the historic landmark for the appreciation of future generations. Visitors to the annual festival this year will be rewarded with a glimpse into the works as part of a hard hat guided tour, revealing the building's rich and intricate history.
Qasr Al Hosn Festival 2016 is back this year with still a focus on the fort as always, and celebrating Emirati culture, putting conservation in action, conservation of both buildings and intangible heritage of the UAE, and of course engaging the community to pass on these traditions to future generations. There's a lot to look forward to this year. We have 4 exhibitions throughout the site. We have the Story of Abu Dhabi and its People exhibition in the Qasr Al Hosn Center. We have Anatomy of a Photograph, as well as Archives and Memories in the Cultural Foundation building. And of course, last but not least, Recollections of the Cultural Foundation building, which is a continuation of what we started last year. We have 5 zones. We have an additional zone this year called Qasr Al Hosn Zone, in addition to the Marine, Oasis, Desert Zones and Abu Dhabi Island. It's a zone that will talk about mostly the architecture, archaeology and conservation subjects that relate to Qasr Al Hosn. We also have the festival stage that's bigger and hosts more people with increased frequency of programming. We have poetry evenings in the Cultural Foundation Amphitheatre, a new program that we're introducing this year. We have workshops. We have workshop pavilions that are extended from the main workshops in the Cultural Foundation building that are popular as ever in each one of these zones. There's a lot to do in Qasr Al Hosn Festival this year. The fort, which is the reason for this whole festival, will host an immersive experience starting with the National Consultative Council, which is right next to it, and through the inner fort as well as the outer palace, in an immersive light and sound experience that tells the story of the fort's development and Abu Dhabi and its people.